Happy New Year and welcome to the January 2023 Nutrition Support Monthly Call. This is Helen Folks, and I'll be providing an overview of important updates for the child nutrition programs on today's Zoom. Please use the chat box feature to ask any questions, and as the state agency team will be on standby, we'll answer your questions as we go through the training. Okay, so what's up for today's agenda includes what's new in memos and resources, important due dates, verification, the 2022 NSLP equipment grant, the administrative review cycle, pandemic electronic benefits transfer, school year 22-23 flexibilities, transitional standards on milk, whole grains, and sodium final rule, and the Medicaid demonstration project. Um, Also, we'll be going over training updates and the outstanding school support employee awards. So to start off our session, the next slides will cover what's new in memos and resources, as well as new training topics that should spark your interest for this new year. So we're going to celebrate in this new year by applying for the 2022 NSLP equipment grant. So applications are open now. So please log into the CNP website and apply for eligible sites before the end of business on January 31st, 2023. The online application process is very quick and easy. Also, based on submissions so far, only about half of the funding has been requested. So your chances to win an award if you apply now are very good. Louisiana has been awarded two funding streams through the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2022 and the American Rescue Plan Act. The combined funding allocated to Louisiana totals over $1.3 million for administrative and distribution purposes to eligible school food authorities through competitive award. The goals for the grant include improvement in key focus areas, including improving the ability to serve healthier meals, supporting scratch cooking. It also serves to, excuse me, I'm gonna have to minimize something here. Store fresh food, upgrade equipment, and support the established maintenance or expansion of the school breakfast program. School food authorities may apply for up to $24,000 per piece of equipment by eligible site. And remember that only one piece of equipment may be awarded per site request. It is strongly encouraged that you apply for a piece of equipment that will make the greatest impact to your school system. Also think about some new delivery systems that may be in effect. So things like tray sealers, some of the different things that you started having a need for since the pandemic would be great to look at. We're doing a lot more in classroom breakfast after the first bell. So think about carts and those types of things that may be helpful in those areas, and also take a look at things that can do a combination of different cooking features to help with your system. For more information, please log in to the CNP website, go to the form section under the title of the 2022 NSLP Equipment Grant, and click on the PowerPoint training for details and instructions. So next up is back to school success with Team Nutrition's menu planning tools and resources. This memo showcases the August 31st Team Nutrition webinar, Back to School Success. And the two versions of this webinar recording are available. One is English caption with the link displayed on this slide, and the other is in Spanish. The informational webinar highlights Team Nutrition's many tools and resources to enhance your knowledge of school menu planning and school nutrition operations. There are hands-on activities that can be used to showcase the food buying guide for child nutrition programs, digital resources, information on child nutrition labels, product formulation statements, USDA standard recipes, USDA approved software, and more. So viewers will gain knowledge of resources available to assist with school menu planning and school nutrition operations, which is very helpful. So um, there's also this area for MyPlate from Team Nutrition. Child nutrition program operators can order free print materials to help kindergarten students discover MyPlate today. So, Discover MyPlate Nutrition Education for Kindergarten is fun, and it's an inquiry based nutrition education that fosters the development of healthy food choices and physically active lifestyles during a critical developmental and learning period for children that are at the kindergarten level. So there's some additional ordering links and information on the upcoming slide. So to access the order forms by topic, you can click on the English or Spanish links on this slide. There are emergent reader mini books also available in both English and Spanish, and there are a variety of handouts available. These are great resources to enhance wellness outreach to the school community and information for wellness teams in your district. So topics include welcome to school lunch, meet my plate, snack time, be your best with breakfast, and move, play, have fun. Also, there are look and cook recipe cards and student workbooks. For questions about these resources, please contact Team Nutrition through teamnutrition@usda.gov. So there was a message that was issued by the Team Nutrition Network, and it's an online database of contact information for Team Nutrition schools and Team Nutrition child and adult care food program organizations that this network online will be retired on June 30th, 2023. The Team Nutrition Initiative is continuing its important work in supporting the child nutrition programs, and you will continue to have access to the main Team Nutrition website and all of the Team Nutrition resources, including the ones we just talked about. Team Nutrition is just working to simplify how schools and CACFP organizations can stay connected to Team Nutrition and to request printed resources. The retirement of the online Team Nutrition schools and CACFP Organizations Network will occur in two phases. Phase one occurred in late December of 2022 when Team Nutrition stopped collecting new and updated enrollments. Phase two will continue through June 30th of 2023 when the Team Nutrition schools and Team Nutrition CACFP organizations websites will be retired and the information will be available online. Current Team Nutrition Network members will not need to take any action whatsoever. So current Team Nutrition members will continue to receive email updates from Team Nutrition, and network members are already part of Team Nutrition's subscriber list in GovDelivery, which is the platform that is used to deliver e-newsletters and other updates. To check and update your GovDelivery subscription, please visit this website that's linked on the screen and you can order printed copies of Team Nutrition materials while supplies last by visiting the main Team Nutrition order form. Stickers, decals, and other items from the Team Nutrition Network promotional order form have been moved to the main Team Nutrition order form. So again, the Team Nutrition Initiative is dedicated to providing you with nutrition education, training, and technical assistance resources to support the child nutrition programs. Team Nutrition will look forward to continuing to work with all child nutrition program operators to highlight best practices, share new resources, and provide training webinars. If you have any questions about the retirement of the Team Nutrition Network, please reach out to teamnutrition@usda.gov. So information on eScholar Direct Match uploads that are available for November 2022 SNAP and TANF. The Department of Education ran the statewide SNAP and TANF matches for all school districts, both public and non-public. Districts should resolve any near matches for SNAP batch number 4063 and TANF batch number 4062. For assistance or any questions, please contact Jane at the email that's linked on this slide. So in terms of Child Nutrition Program Manager Training, registration was open but is now closed for virtual Child Nutrition Program um, for the Child Nutrition Program this week. If you want some more information, there is an agenda and a link to registration on this slide. The training is conducted live via Zoom beginning at 12:30 today and extends throughout the remainder of this week. Sessions are all day, Wednesday and Thursday, and there's an assessment quiz from 9 to 11:30 on Friday. The USDA webinar titled Streaming Program Requirements and Improving Integrity in the Summer Food Service Program is now available for viewing online by Child Nutrition Program operators. The PowerPoint slide deck from the webinar is also available. Both links can be found on the Food and Nutrition Services website at the link on this slide. So I highly recommend that you take a look at this in terms of preparations for this summer's summer food service program. It's a very good webinar. It's detailed, and there are several different areas that are going to be adjusted in this final rule. So it's something that you may want to listen to more than once. New food yields were added to the food buying guide for Child Nutrition Program's interactive web-based tool and interactive mobile app. So new food yields are available for frozen mangoes, fresh rambutan, fresh lychee, fresh and canned mandarins, frozen legumes, including dark red kidney beans and white kidney beans, as well as pouch tuna. So please stay tuned for additional yield data releases that are coming soon. And go ahead and use the link on this slide to explore the food buying guide and the multiple resources available. Take a look and review Memo SFS 23-00033, which includes a verification guide starting on page 2. As a reminder, the deadline to submit the verification summary form is January 10th, 2023. So if you haven't started yet, please begin working on it as soon as possible so state agency staff are able to review and release for corrections if needed prior to the deadline. If you need help determining which sections you need to fill out for your school district, please reference the 22-23 verification by type document attached to this memo. It breaks down instructions by traditional counting and claiming schools, partial CEP, system-wide CEP, RCCIs with day students, and RCCIs without day students. So there's a link to the training on this slide if you need more details. This year, all school types are required to report the number of free and reduced price Medicaid direct certification results as of October 31st, 2022. If you are an RCCI without day students, just remember that you can report 0 for both. The fiscal year 2023 Farm to School Grant Program request for applications is currently open. So please refer to the links on this slide for more information. The Community Food Systems Division wants to make sure that you have access to their Farm to School Grant webinars. And if you want to view the webinars, please click on the links on this slide. And please share this with any partners or participating institutions who may be interested in applying. The Louisiana Department of Education training schedule for January is posted and includes the following trainings that are listed on this slide. So please register for each of these trainings on louisianafitkids.com. All training recordings and slides are posted within a week after the live presentation, and they're posted under louisianafitkids.com/home/training slides. Manager training is in session this week, today through Friday, January 6th. And as I mentioned earlier, registration for that session is currently closed, but this is offered on a periodic basis. So please watch registration on the FitKids site and for memos regarding upcoming sessions. This Wednesday, January 4th, 2023, will be nutrition support office hours at 1:00 p.m. and school food service staff will be available during this time to answer your questions, comments, and any concerns. So please join us for any assistance that you may need. Tuesday, January 10th, 2023, our topic is civil rights and health inspections and will be offered at 1:00 p.m. So please invite your staff to register and attend this annual requirement for civil rights training, along with updates pertaining to health inspections. Now, Thursday, January 12th, 2023, will be supply chain assistance funds. Um, and that will be offered at 1:00 p.m. And state agency staff will review the new USDA supply chain assistance funds, including the allocation process timeline and required attestation statement. Tuesday, January 17th, 2023, the topic of food service management company contracts will be covered at 1:00 p.m. If you do or plan to use a food service management company contract, it is very important to attend this training. State agency staff will review the process of contracting with a food service management contract. Please watch for memos that are upcoming that will announce additional trainings that may take place this month. Okay, so the Outstanding School Support Employee Award process will open on Thursday, January 19th. Now, I typically see this listed as OSSE, so you may have seen something about that. Okay, so on Thursday, January 19th, all application materials will be posted on the awards page website. During the nomination phase, please submit outstanding employees from your district. After the nomination phase, all school systems will be encouraged to select up to 3 outstanding school support employees, 1 per division, and being elementary, middle, and high school as their local level honorees. And then you'll submit those selections to the state for processing. Applications will be due on February 14th and will be submitted in an online application portal. So please don't pass up this opportunity to have your outstanding school support employees recognized. There are some upcoming important due dates for January 2023. So let's take a look at those. SFAs had up until November 15th to complete verification activities and collect the data for Part 1 of the verification summary report. The summary and data on verification is due for online submission on January 10th. And SFAs that participate in district-wide CEP are not required to accept applications and or complete the verification process, but must complete the verification summary form. New information reporting for the January 10th verification summary includes reporting on the Medicaid free enrolled students and Medicaid reduced enrolled students matched through the Medicaid demonstration and match project. The steps are detailed on the next slide. Please refer to the December 13th verification summary form training on louisianafitkids.com for detailed instructions on how to complete and submit the verification report, including the new Medicaid reporting data. The verification summary report includes several categories for reporting, so please see the snapshot of basic instructions and the steps required to complete the verification sections. While I'm not going to cover all of the sections of verification today, remember to register well, the verification summary training already did take place, but you can go online to louisianafitkids.com and view that verification summary training. My intent here is to focus on the Medicaid reporting today because that's the new section. So this new section under number 4 is section M, where where you report students directly certified with Medicaid. All SFAs are required to complete this section of the verification summary report. Okay, this screenshot shows how the Medicaid reporting section, section M, will appear in the verification summary report. And M1 includes students directly certified with Medicaid. Under column A, SFAs will report the number of students directly certified for free meals, while under column B, SFAs will report the number of students directly certified with Medicaid for reduced meals. Okay, monitoring. This is a hot topic right now with USDA and in administrative reviews in terms of accountability. Monitoring is where school site accountability needs to be identified, and training for corrections can be planned, provided, and then documented. In absence of the many waivers available for the pandemic, CNP operators should ensure that the school administrators, child nutrition program managers, and staff are aware that the program requirements are back to business as usual with regular program requirements in place. Meal counting and claiming, including point of service procedures, should be carefully reviewed at the site levels to ensure that child nutrition program managers and staff understand the accountability requirements and procedures, especially for the point of service. Be sure to take note of alternative procedures in place, such as for in-house detention, breakfast in the classroom, and grab and go services. Just as a reminder, adults outside of school food service workers should pay the adult price for meals, meaning employees pay the employee price for meals, and guests of any age at the school will pay the at-cost price for meals. Every school year prior to February 1st, each school food authority with more than one school, including residential childcare institutions, must perform no less than one on-site review of the meal counting and claiming system and the readily observable general areas of the review in each school operating NSLP, and at least half of the schools operating the school breakfast program. So one of the primary purposes of this visit and on-site review must ensure that the school's claim is based on the counting and claiming system as implemented and yields the actual number of reimbursable free, reduced price, and pay meals, respectively, served for each day of operation. Here is a snapshot of the January 2023 important due dates. A full list can be found under resources on the CNP website and is linked in the title of this slide. As a reminder, please enter any site health inspections and also any meal denials in the CNP website if applicable. Also, please check on claim submissions to be certain you are up to date for claiming throughout 2022. Next up for discussion is School Food Authority comments on application revisions. The state agency IT group is providing a new feature that requires CNP supervisors to comment on any school food service online application revision submitted to the state agency. So please be specific when you're entering comments here about what changes are made and why those changes are needed. The advantage of your comments appearing for the state agency will be that it will very much speed up the state agency review and process for approving online application revisions. It also allows the state agency to target areas for review and reach out to you for questions to make sure that these revisions are accurate. It also ensures that changes are reflective of your initial intention. So these can really be a great help in terms of making sure these revisions are processed and approved both accurately and timely. So here's what the revision comment will look like. SFAs will be prompted to enter comments in the blue portion of the revision justification box pictured here, and comments will be saved and both time and date stamped. Additional comments may be added as needed, and these comments will appear on the state agency review screen at the top to allow for a very streamlined communication method and a quick review of changes that will speed the approval process. An error message, which is pictured on the bottom right side of this slide, will appear to remind an SFA to enter comments justifying the need for a revision to the online application and to describe the intended changes. Note that the area in red explains why the error message occurred, so that will direct you as to where the issue is and that it can be resolved for a successful submission of the application revision. Okay, so I do have a question here that popped up that says, do monitoring forms need to be entered anywhere on the CNP website? Or do we keep those monitoring forms for our own records? And that's a very good question. So make sure that you complete the monitoring forms and that you keep those on site with your regular program records for 3 years plus the current year. Um, those those monitoring forms are reviewed upon administrative review and may be reviewed should the state agency conduct a visit. So, online, in terms of online applications and claim submissions for school year 22-23, I have some reminders upcoming on the next slide. So please ensure that your online application has been approved and that you're up to date with claim submissions. If you have a correction to submit to your online application, please make sure to submit any outstanding claims prior to submitting any revisions, because once a revision is submitted, it must be approved by the state agency before you'll gain access to claims again. So just be aware of those deadlines. The 60 calendar day deadline for claim submission is still in place. A one-time exception is allowed only once every 36 months or 3 years if a claim is past the 60-day calendar timeframe. So this one-time exception is not something you really want to have to use. So please just be mindful of that. Also, you'll want to update and make any corrections to the CNP online application whenever changes occur and as needed. So we do consider the online application a live document that should be updated periodically during the year when any new information changes or corrections come to light. So the next slides are a review of pandemic EBT and local level funding. Because the COVID-19 public health emergency continues to be in effect, PEBT is an ongoing topic and may serve as a source of relief for families experiencing food insecurity. Okay, just as an overview in terms of summer 2022 PEBT eligibility, this was where all students in K through 12 were eligible if they qualified for free or reduced price meals and were in fact in school in May of 2022. Eligible children received a total payment of $391 to cover June and July, and payments were issued in 2 installments. Benefits were issued in late summer and into the autumn months and were received for the 2021 and 2022 school year, 21-22 school year. So there is a link on this slide about that will take you to information on frequently asked questions. And just as a side note, the Secretary of Health and Human Services did officially extend the COVID-19 public health emergency for until January 11th, 2023. So in terms of eligibility requirements for PEBT, they include students who attended school at least one day in May 2022, students whose school they attended in May participated in CEP in school year 21-22 or qualified for free or reduced price meals under the school lunch or school breakfast program. Also eligible are children who were determined newly eligible for free and reduced price meals, including those who submitted free and reduced price lunch applications by close of business on Friday, July 29th, 2022. So just that was a little overview, but as an update for the 2023 school year, DCFS is currently developing a state plan to operate pandemic EBT for school children and children in childcare for school year 22-23. As a note, there's an option for benefits for children who are homeschooling, specifically due to COVID-19. DCFS will detail a plan on how families will gain eligibility, and there will be more information forthcoming. All federal benefits issued, including PEBT by DCFS, have a 9-month time limit for use. So it's important to note that this timer is reset to 9 months each time a purchase is made. Families are sent letters to inform recipients when they have benefits that will soon expire. If a family makes a purchase using the PEBT card, the timer is then reset. If they don't, any remaining benefits would then be lost. However, the card in the case is still active, and any future benefits will be added to the card within the same 9-month time limit. Okay, so for support related to PEBT, there are some support toolboxes listed on this screen as Data Manager Toolbox and some helpful links, including the PEBT website, the parent portal, the LA Cafe login. Also, some additional contacts would be a support response mailbox through email, which is dcfs.pebtsupport@la.gov. And there's a DCFS help desk for parents, which is 1-888-LA Help You, and an EBT Card Center help desk at 1-888-997-1117. So let's go over the flexibilities that are in place for 22-23 school year. So flexibilities available for school year 2022-2023 include paid lunch equity, which waives the paid lunch equity requirement for school year 22-23. And this pertains to the school lunch prices for this school year. In terms of carryover eligibility, this did allow schools that operated SSO in school year 21-22 to use the most recent free or reduced price determinations. Since 2019-2020, during the 30-day carryover period of school year 22-23. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know, but we're really kind of past that period of time at this stage. Severe need reimbursement rates for the school breakfast program and 2-cent differential reimbursement for NSLP in school year 22-23 and 23-24 are covered in memo SFS 22-X144. So note that this memo includes information on how severe need eligibility determinations are currently made due to participation in SSO by many SFAs over the pandemic year. So just as an overview, we are in the process of transitional standards on milk, whole grains, and sodium, and this is a final rule by USDA. And on February 7th, 2022, USDA published this transitional rule which went officially into effect on July 1st, 2022. And the transitional standards provide a 2-year time frame for implementation of standards and flexibility until permanent meal pattern standards can be designed. Looking forward, please be aware of opportunities for comment periods on these upcoming rules. Your input will be critical in communicating the challenges and successes experienced during the transitional period in order to affect the development of the USDA CNP permanent meal pattern standards. The slide posted here shows a summary of transitional standards, including flexibility to provide 1% flavored milk, a marginal decrease plan for sodium for lunch only as a target 1A standard for school year 23-24, and a standard for whole grains of ensuring that at least 80% of the whole grains provided over the course of a week are whole grain rich. For references on transitional meal pattern standards, please see Memo SFS 2290 and Memo SFS 2291. And this will provide a lot of the detail that you may be looking for in terms of trying to forecast and make projections for next school year, for writing your bid specifications, and making sure that you know what your menu is going to look like moving forward. The slides and video from the transitional standard training are posted on Louisiana Fit Kids, which is linked on this slide. USDA's milk tip sheet is designed for program operators as a handy and easy to use reference on how to credit milk into the meal pattern requirements. So all are welcome to download these materials and make copies. So if you would like to utilize that, please follow this link on this slide to download information. To assist SFAs in making decisions regarding whole grains in the child nutrition programs, the whole grain resource for the National School Lunch and School Breakfast Program has been revised. This version includes considerations for the 2022 final rule for child nutrition programs in light of the transitional meal standards. This guide provides examples of various grain products often served in schools and walks the user through the process of determining whether products are whole grain rich, creditable as enriched, or not creditable at all. So there is a whole grains knowledge quiz from Team Nutrition, and this can be very helpful in terms of making sure that all staff and program operators understand the new whole grain requirements. This quiz is comprised of 10 questions. It's interactive and self-paced. So if you'd like to take the quiz, just access it at the link that's on this slide. So this next area is regarding Memo SFS 23007, and it reminds us of the requirement of Buy American provision. And I have here listed the lettuce shortage, but this is for any really issue in obtaining certain items and how it relates to the Buy American provision. So lettuce is normally grown in sufficient quantities in the United States at a reasonable price, but as many have been aware, there was a shortage of domestically grown lettuce, particularly romaine and iceberg lettuce. So if lettuce or other items are affecting what you can purchase in terms of domestically grown product, make sure that your distributor or food service management company has requested an exception and received approval from the school food authority to use a non-domestic product for at least 14 days in advance of delivery. This can be accomplished by submitting a Buy American certification form for the domestic product that is not available. Okay, let's touch base with the Medicaid demonstration project for school year 22-23. So Louisiana has been one of 8 states that were selected to participate in this demonstration project. And this project is to evaluate the impact of using Medicaid eligibility data to directly certify students for free and reduced price meals. And that began this school year and continues throughout school year 22-23. State agencies match school enrollment data with Medicaid eligibility data to identify children who receive Medicaid or live with a child who receives Medicaid and whose family income before expenses and deductions do not exceed 130% of the federal poverty level for free school meal eligibility or 185% of the federal poverty level for reduced price meal eligibility. So please note, not all children receiving Medicaid will actually receive free or reduced meals. So it would have to meet these income eligibility guidelines. And there are situations where a child has Medicaid and that those income guidelines are not met. Due to differences in household definition and income assessments between programs, some children directly certified for free or, for reduced price meals through Medicaid may have been eligible for free meals if the household applied. In these situations, USDA requires that these households receive notice of the income level used and be offered the opportunity to apply if their income, based on the National School Lunch Program, eligibility policies is within the limit for free meals using the NSLP's current income eligibility guidelines. So notice that under the Medicaid demonstration, children are not considered to be categorically eligible and may be directly certified only by an automated data matching process with the Medicaid eligibility records. Therefore, households are not allowed to handwrite their Medicaid case number on the application or provide proof of Medicaid in order for their child to be eligible for free and reduced price meals. And there again, that kind of circles back to the fact that there is an income eligibility component to this where they would either fall in the free or reduced price category only if income eligibility limits applied. Students eligible for free or reduced price meals based on an application or direct certification with another program cannot be negatively impacted by the match with Medicaid data. If an SFA has determined that a child is directly certified as reduced price eligible through Medicaid, and the child is determined to be directly certified through SNAP, TANF, or FDPIR, or identified as homeless or runaway, enrolled in a federally funded Head Start program, or is a foster child, the LEA's free direct certification determination would supersede the Medicaid reduced price status. Medicaid free and Medicaid reduced should be extended to siblings in the same household whenever it increases benefits to those students. More information will be covered it was covered during another webinar. Make sure that you let us know if you have any questions regarding negative impact, because we want to make sure that students are receiving the maximum benefit through this pilot project. So supply chain of assistance funds, there is a third allocation. Because the underlying conditions fueling supply chain disruptions and other economic uncertainty remain significant in many parts of the country, FNS is providing an additional $471.5 million in supply chain assistance funds, and state agencies will distribute this third round of SCA funding to eligible school food authorities via the same formula used to distribute the first and second rounds of funds. Much like the second allocation of SCA funds, these funds remain limited to the purchase of unprocessed or minimally processed domestic food products, and more information will be provided. For resources on supply chain assistance, please refer to the following resources for additional information, and make sure that you register for the upcoming training. Okay, next up is procurement and food service management company allowable costs. Emergency procurement provisions in place during the height of the pandemic are no longer in place, so please be reminded to follow regular procurement provisions. Make sure you follow and update your school year 22-23 procurement plan where needed. So just take a look at this in terms of small purchases and micro purchase thresholds. On May 31st, 2022, Governor John Bell Edwards signed House Bill 221 through Act 204 into law, and this increased the micro purchase threshold from $10,000 to $30,000. And it also increased the small purchase threshold from $30,000 to $60,000. So just remember that normal purchasing guidelines regarding quotes with small purchases will still apply, and the effective date of this was August 1st, 2022. Now, as a reminder, the state agency has noted that some food service management companies have been charging fees to school food authorities outside of allowable expenses. So, as a reminder, the food service management company contracts is strictly a meal times rate contract. You may want to refer to Section 1, Scope and Purpose of the Food Service Management Prototype Contract, and it states that the charge to an SFA or sponsor for food service management company fees is to be clearly identified in the proposal. Fees imposed by a food service management company outside of the contract may not be paid for with child nutrition program funds. The USDA Food and Nutrition Service was pleased to announce that the 2023 CACFP and Summer Food Service Program participant area eligibility data is now available. So at the start of every fiscal year, FNS releases a special tabulation of data provided by the Census Bureau for CACFP and SFSP that establishes area eligibility. This data is effective as of October 1st, 2022, and the FNS mapping tools have also been updated to reflect the new data. To see the map and the FNS open data site, please utilize the link on this slide. To learn more about using census data for establishing area eligibility in CACFP and SFSP, please see our policy memo SP 08-2017, which is titled Area Eligibility in Child Nutrition Programs, and it was issued on December 1st, 2016. And for ease and access, it is linked on this slide. Next up for presentation is a mandatory USDA supply chain survey. USDA has sent out information on this. So as an overview, the USDA's FNS is conducting a web survey of all SFAs that operate the child nutrition programs, and they need your input. The survey seeks to collect information on the continued challenges SFAs are facing due to ongoing food and labor supply chain disruptions, as well as ways in which the transition to standard operations is impacting student participation in nutrition programs. Now, your participation in this survey is vital to providing FNS with information that they need to support school districts during this difficult time. So please take advantage of this opportunity to share your experiences from the school year and communicate the specific issues that you're facing in your community directly to FNS. You should have received a link via email from FNS to complete the web survey around December the 5th. This survey has a maximum, of 31 questions, and it's estimated to take approximately 20 minutes to complete. So if you haven't done it already, please complete it as soon as you are able. And also please check your spam or junk email box to make sure it was not blocked from your inbox. A lot of systems are finding that it's hanging out in the junk email box, just waiting to be opened up. Um, it did come from USDA Food and Nutrition Service, which you can search at no reply at gemailserver.com. Now, that's either a Q or a G. It appears to be a G. If you have any questions about the survey, you can email directly at cnsurveys@usda.gov. And if for any reason you can't find it, please do email them. While we were on the topic of supply chain issues, the recording of the September 26 program monitoring and operational support division webinar for supply chain assistance best practices for state agencies and school food authorities is now available for all child nutrition program operators, and it is linked on this slide. So please take the opportunity now to put any questions in the chat box, and I will take a moment to pause while any questions may come through. Okay, so I haven't had any questions pop up. If you do have any questions, please contact the Louisiana Department of Education, Division of Nutrition Support at Child Nutrition Programs at la.gov or by calling 225-342-9961. Thank you very much for your time today, and Happy New Year.